What does it truly mean to live a fulfilled life? We were taught at a very young age the concept of hard work. You work hard, you get a good job, save enough so that by the time that you graduate or by the time that you retire, you'll be able to travel the world. The problem with this linear process of thinking is that we only have a finite time here in this world, and we don't really know how much time we have to spend. And in this book, Bill Perkins discusses how we can actually maximize our life positive experiences and the concept of die with zero. So as usual, I'm Pao, and I'll share with you my 5 key takeaways of this book. Before I start, I'll start with the short story of the ant and the grasshopper. So the ant is very hardworking. In autumn, he already started collecting grain to prepare for winter. On the other hand, the grasshopper was complacent. He was saying that no, we have so much time. Let's just enjoy the weather. Let's enjoy the sun. But the ant is insistent that I need to save up for the winter season for my family and whatnot. And the grasshopper, there's always time to work. Why not relax a bit, right? Um, the story ends wherein, the grasshopper is caught up by winter and then he is not able to, have enough food to survive the winter season. However, it's quite um, there's a twist to that story wherein a lot of people nowadays either save too much or save too little. So one is not better than the other, but rather it's really about finding the balance between saving enough for you to actually enjoy the life and maximize your positive life experiences. So the first key lesson here is the business of life is the acquisition of memories. So maximize your positive life experience. I really like these quotes. Your life is the sum of all of your experiences. Everything you do in life, all the daily, weekly, monthly, annual, once in a lifetime opportunities adds up to who you are. The richest of those experiences will determine your judgment of how full of a life you've led. So it's a really great quote because it really makes you think, are the activities that you do on a daily, weekly, and so on basis, do they actually make your life fulfilled? Do they actually make you happy? Because if not, there may be something wrong in what you're doing. Because at the end of the day, at the end of your life, you don't want to look back and regret that you should have done this, you should have done that, and so on. So it's really about maximizing your positive life experiences. The second key nugget of wisdom I learned is the memory dividend. So when you think about investments, right, we always think about the return on equity, which is the return on our investment of capital and so on. But there's a concept as well as return on experiences. Because if you do experiences, if you invest in experiences, you will also have residual experiences. Similar to when you invest $1 into maybe stocks and whatnot, you receive dividends. If you invest in experiences, you will have residual experiences in the form of memory dividends. So haven't we done something truly worthwhile, experience something, maybe travel, maybe spend time with our family, although it may not have any monetary return to us, the whenever we recall that specific memory, it brings a smile to our face. So the earlier you collect memories or experiences, the more you are able to benefit from these residual memories or memory dividends. The third key nugget of wisdom, is the longevity risk versus mortality risk. What basically it says is it's either the problem of most people, it's either we live too long, right? Or we die too soon. So living too long can also have some negative effects because we may not have saved enough for us to live until 100, for example. Or the opposite is we die too soon. We still haven't enjoyed our life, right? In order for us to avoid this from happening, it's important that first you compute how many years you estimate to live. And from there, you also estimate how much income or how much expenses do you estimate to spend on a yearly basis? So, for example, if you you expect to spend 12,000 US dollars or 600,000 pesos a year, and then you expect to live 15 years after you retire, you need to save 180,000. So that would be your target, right? If you're able to save 180,000, you can actually live on this capital for the remainder of your years. Anything in excess of that, you can actually use to maximize your positive life experiences, traveling, and doing all of the things that you wouldn't have done. The fourth nugget of wisdom is the utility of money declines as we age. So, a lot of people always think about the future, that I want to go skydiving in the future, I want to travel to Rome in the future. But when you think about it, not all experiences can be truly enjoyed uh, at a certain age, right? So more risky activities, maybe you can't do it when you're 80 or 70, right? So it's really about understanding what are the life experiences that you want now, but you can't actually do it on a later date, right? So if it's too expensive, if it's too expensive, for example, rather than defer to the future when in fact you'll not be able to actually do it because you're too old, it's actually better to experience it as early as now. For example, skydiving, or maybe traveling, or maybe skiing, right? Things that would be best experienced while you're young, right? And the last key nugget of wisdom is start to time bucket your life. So I think this is a great concept in relation to nugget number 4, right? Is what identifying, asking yourself, what do you want to experience per time bucket? So, for example, if you were to time bucket your college experience, right? Like college parties, drinking until 6 a.m. These are the things that you can't actually do when you're old, right? So, I understanding what are if you were to put a timeline in terms of the things you'd want to experience, when would be the optimal time to actually do these things, to actually experience these things, and create a plan, work backwards on how you are to either save up to that, for that, how will you create time for that, and how will you actually experience it. So it's usually done on a 5 or 10 year intervals. So it works well with nugget number 4. Uh, so again, die with zero. A lot of people may be asking, what about my children and whatnot? So rather than, wait for you to actually pass away before you give your riches to your spouses or your children, why not identify your net worth, right? Everything that you own minus everything that you owe, and then identify how much you actually want to give to your spouse, to your children, and why not give it at an early age, right? So they would actually benefit more if they get it at an early age versus them waiting for you to retire, right, or to pass away. So again, it's a really interesting book. I really love this Die with Zero concept, right? It really shifted the way I think. So it's a balance again between the life of an ant and the life of a grasshopper. It's not about saving too much or saving too little. It's about really saving enough to maximize your positive life experience. So again, if you enjoyed the summary, I do one summary every Sunday. If you haven't subscribed, go to youtube.com, search Paolo Balinas, and I do one summary every Sunday evening. Thank you, and see you again next week. Bye.